Hello everyone, welcome to another day of April Lead Code Challenge, and today's question is global and local inversions. In this question, we are given an input array of size n and definition of global inversions and local inversions. We need to tell whether the local inversion count happens to be equal to global inversion count or not. And I'll explain all these terminologies in my presentation. So without much ado, let's move on to the presentation. It's an interesting problem, and you'll be amused with the solution that I'll propose. The number of local inversion is all those indexes of I where a of I happens to be greater than a of I plus 1. And number of global inversion count is all those places of I where a of I is greater than a of j, provided this condition is met. I is greater than j. Any place where I is greater than j in the valid boundary, all those will contribute to global inversions. And in the end, we need to return the count, the global count versus the local count. If that happens to be equal, we return true. If that is unequal, we return false. So let's talk about the very basic naive approach, the typical solution that comes to everybody's mind when they see this question. So it would be an order of n square solution where you simply loop across to find out the local inversions and the global inversions. So the count of local inversions will be something like this. For I starting from 0 up till len minus 2, if a of I is greater than a of I plus 1, you increment your local count. Similarly, you start calculating for the global count as well. You start from I 0 till len minus 1. For j, starting from I plus 1 up to len minus 1. And if a of I is greater than a of j, you increment your global count. And in the end, you simply check whether your global count happens to be equal to the local count or not, and you return. What is the time complexity of this approach? The time complexity is order of n square. Can we do something better? The answer is yes. So if you read the description of the problem, you'll understand that every local inversion contributes to a global inversion. So let's talk about it how. A of I is greater than A of I plus 1 and A of I is greater than A of j, provided j is greater than I. So for j equal to I plus 1, this exactly becomes the definition of local inversion. Hence, we can say that every local inversion is a global inversion. And let's reduce the problem to finding out only those places where this condition is not met. For example, let's start an iteration starting from I up till 0, from 0 till len minus 1, and this time we'll start the iteration of j from I plus 2 places, because let's forget about I plus 1. Whether it's an inversion or not, we don't care, because if it happens to be a global inversion or a local inversion, it will be counted in both. So let's just forget about I plus 1 indexes and let's start from I plus 2 indexes up till len minus 1. If array of I is greater than array of j, that means we found a place where an extra global inversion is happening. And therefore, since it's an extra global inversion, we'll return false from it. Again, the time complexity is order of n square. Can we do something better than this? The answer is yes. So let's try to reduce the complexity from order of n square to order of n by doing some optimizations. So let's try this up. For I equals to 0, this index, what all comparisons are we interested in? We are interested in these many comparisons: 2 with 2 index, 3 index, 4 index, and 5 index. So this is 5, this is A5, A6, and this is fifth index. And for index 1, what all comparisons are we interested in? We are interested in 3, 4, 5. And for index 2, we are interested in 4, 5, comparison with these indexes. For index 3, we are interested in comparison with fifth index. So can we do some optimization here? Yes. How? Let me just tell you. So if I look at the problem carefully, what all indexes is 2 getting compared with? So 2 is only getting compared with 0. So we have to devise a solution where this comparison definitely happens. From what all places 3 is getting compared? 3 is getting compared at 2 places, 0 and 1. What all indexes is 4 getting compared? 4 is getting compared with 0, 1 and 2. So I'm writing this information. We need to do comparison of 2 with 0 index, of 3 with 0 comma 1, of 4 with 0 comma 1 comma 2, of 5 with 0 comma 1 comma 2 comma 3, 0 comma 1 comma 2 comma 3. So let's try and optimize the solution. What we are going to do, we'll keep track of the maximum value that we have visited so far with respect to current I, and we'll do comparison of a of I with I plus 2, a of I plus 2. So let's talk about it. How is this condition satisfying the complete use case? So for I equals to 0, which element are we going to compare it with? A of 2, which satisfies this condition. So this is correct. And if a of 0 happens to be greater than a of 2, we return false from our answer. And let's move on to the next element. For a of 1, the first thing that we are going to do, we'll take the maximum of these two. So the max of a of 0 and a of 1. Max of a of 0 comma a of 1. And once we have that information, we'll compare it with a of 3, this index, because that is the area of concern, which will again make this condition satisfied, where we have to compare 0 comma 1 with a of 3. Since we are taking the maximum so far, this maximum incorporates both the cases 0 comma 1, which again sounds good. So this condition is also satisfied, and wherever we find that the maximum value so far is greater than the current a of I plus 2 value, we abort the process and return false from there. So let's try another case as well, and let me just change the color of my pen. And let's talk about a of 2. I is 2 this time, and what we are going to do, we'll take max of a of 0 comma 1 comma 2, all these three values, and we'll compare it with a of 4, which again satisfies this condition, that wherever a of 0 or a of 1 or a of 2 happens to be greater than a of 4, we abort the process. So this condition is again satisfied. Let's talk about another case where we get to a of 3. The first thing that we are going to do, max of 0 comma 1 comma 2 comma 3, and we'll compare it with a of 5, which again satisfies this condition. And if any of these values happens to be greater than a of 5, we abort the process and we return false from there. The max calculation can be done in linear time as we are moving across this array, as a result of which the time complexity reduces to order of n. I hope everyone got the solution, and let's just move on to the coding part. We'll code it very quickly. So I'll be iterating through all the three approaches so that you know how to go about this in an interview. And let's get started. Defining the local variable. Integer I equals to 0, I is less than a dot length minus 1, I plus plus. If array of I is greater than array of I plus 1, that means we need to increment the local count. Similarly, let's go for the global one and define the variable, and let's write those two loops. Integer I equals to 0, I is less than a, this time a dot length, I plus plus, writing the jth loop starting from I plus 1, j is less than a dot length, j plus plus. If array of I is greater than array of j, I'll increment the global count. And in the end, return a of I, local versus global. And let's try. This should give us a TLE. This looks good. Absolutely. So this is giving us a TLE. So let's try the second approach, the modification of the first approach. And let me just comment this code. Here I'll only be calculating the negation cases. So I'm deleting the local count variable. We are not concerned about it. And also the global count variable. And I'll be starting the jth iteration starting from 2. And if this happens to be true, then I return false from there. So this is the modification with the first approach, where we are not concerned about those indexes that are starting from I plus 1, because even if they contribute to an inversion, it will be counted in both local and global. So in the end, we'll simply return true. So let's see whether this works or not. It worked. And let me just submit this code. Accepted. So we still have the third solution to write, although this is accepted because we reduce the complexity as we are not calculating the local counts here, and we are only going for the identification of the negative cases. The complexity is still order of n square. So let's write a better approach than this, and let me just comment this code. And let's go for the third approach. So the first thing that we are going to do is to define a variable cmax that will store the maximum element that we have seen so far, and I'll initialize this to a of 0. And let's start the iteration. For integer I equals to 0, I is less than a dot length minus 2 I plus plus if, let's update cmax first. Cmax equals to math.max cmax comma a of I, and if my cmax is greater than a of I plus 2, if that is the case, I'll return false from there. Otherwise, let's return true, because that's a happy case. We couldn't find any such case where there is a extra global inversion. And let's just submit it. Accepted. What is the time complexity of this approach? Time complexity is order of n, and space complexity is order of 1. Since we are keeping just few variables so as to keep track of the maximum so far. That is a no op. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, share and comment. Also, please subscribe to the channel.